The Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade is dividing the nation once again.
Those on the right, pro-life supporters, are celebrating. On the left, pro-choice supporters are furious and planning what to do next.
We are covering this story from multiple angles today with crews in West Michigan and Lansing.
The court's decision was not unexpected. A preliminary opinion leaked in May revealed the way the court was leaning. Here's how the justices voted.
The majority in favor of the decision included Justices Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Coney Barrett. The dissent justices Breyer, Sotomayor, Kagan, and Chief Justice John Roberts.
We begin our coverage now with ABC's Justin Finch in Washington.
Law enforcement at the ready outside the U.S. Supreme Court, where crowds have been gathering after word the court has overturned Roe v. Wade. The decision evoking different reactions from anti-abortion and abortion rights activists.
Now, with Roe gone, let's be very clear. The health and life of women in this nation are now at risk.
President Joe Biden blasting the decision, calling it out of step from the views of most Americans. Inside the Capitol, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi weighed in, and House Republican leader Kevin McCarthy showed support.
It's a slap in the face to women about using their own judgment to make their own decisions about their reproductive freedom.
Americans celebrate this historic victory because we know it will save the lives of millions of children.
For a near half-century, abortion has been a constitutional right, now overturned by the court's 6-3 conservative majority. In Jackson, Mississippi, the state at the center of the challenge to Roe v. Wade, mixed reaction.
I'm grateful to the Lord that Roe v. Wade has been overturned.
Women without means will suffer.
26 states are poised to severely restrict or outlaw abortion. 13 have so-called trigger laws banning abortion upon the court's decision to strike it down. Republican Senator Susan Collins calling out Justices Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, saying that their votes are inconsistent with views expressed on abortion rights and Roe v. Wade in their Supreme Court nomination hearings. And now across the U.S., Democrat-led states are expanding abortion access. Outside the U.S. Supreme Court, Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
There are several states that have laws in place to ban abortion following today's decision. This map will show you. The states in orange already have laws banning abortion. Those in light orange have trigger laws, which took effect immediately when Roe v. Wade was overturned. And the striped states are considered likely to implement bans. The rest will likely keep abortion legal. Despite what you see on the map, in Michigan, it is still legal. That's because of a preliminary injunction against Michigan's 1931 criminal abortion ban that is protecting abortion rights in Michigan. That injunction is in place as a result of a lawsuit brought by Planned Parenthood. Today, the governor filed a motion urging the Supreme Court to take the case after calling today's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade devastating.
And it's precisely why I'm going to continue to fight like hell. I've introduced, I filed a lawsuit. I'm hopeful that our state Supreme Court will take it up and give clarity that yes, Michigan women still have a right to privacy and bodily autonomy under our due process and equal protection clauses of our state constitution.
Until a decision is made, abortion will continue to be legal here in Michigan. Here's the timeline of what happens next with the preliminary injunction. Governor Whitmer gives an opening brief on July 8th. Defendants respond by July 22nd, with a final response by the governor by July 29th. After that, the state Supreme Court will read the briefings and decide whether or not to take up the case. There is no deadline on that decision.
The reaction to today's decision was swift and emotional. Demonstrations started in Washington minutes after the ruling was released.
Others are planned this weekend in West Michigan, and one is underway right now at the Capitol in Lansing. 13 on your side's Justin Bachman is there now live. And Justin, how many people would you say are there?
Good evening, Kirk. We would say that there were about 200 people, but it does seem like every time I turn around, there's about 25 or 50 more. Let's take a look at this crowd right now. We are seeing a lot of people that have gotten here just within the past 5 or 10 minutes, and this crowd still seems to be growing. They are not the only people we have seen today out demonstrating. This morning, right when we got to Lansing, we went and checked on the Planned Parenthood there to see if there were demonstrations going on. It was small, but there were some people from both sides that were making their voices heard, both pro-life and pro-choice, saying that the pro-life people were celebrating on that day. The pro-choice supporter that we talked to saying that the decision made by that high court is something they cannot believe.
Because this is a historic day. We've been waiting for this, that horrible decision in 1972 that brought about abortion, the killing of innocent babies in the womb.
People should be able to receive the health care they need. That's a fundamental right, and everywhere it should be. And so we're always here because it disgusts me that somebody could be coming to get an abortion or pick up their birth control pill and be getting screamed violently at.
Now, this crowd is, as I said, continuing to grow here at the state capitol in Lansing. This is a rally that was planned to start at 5 o'clock. Something that I think is important to point out, this is not the only rally that was slated to be here at the Capitol this evening. 5 o'clock is where this Planned Parenthood rally is starting off, but at 6 o'clock, there is supposed to be a rally for pro-life supporters. We will be here for that as well, and we will let you know how that goes as those two groups intersect. For now, live at the Capitol, I'm Justin Bachman, 13 on your side.
Now to Grand Rapids, where a demonstration is also being held this afternoon. People are gathered at Monument Park downtown and plan to march through the streets. 13 on your side's Keely Lovern is in Grand Rapids with reaction. Keely.
Good afternoon, Kirk. Same as Justin's situation. Every time I turn around, more and more people gathering here at Monument Park. They posted on social media saying that they're gathering here, group of activists and community members planning to march to the Gerald R. Ford Federal Building and U.S. Courthouse. They're upset with today's Supreme Court decisions. You can see a lot of signs behind us over there. A lot of people really voicing their opinions. Now, this afternoon, we drove around Grand Rapids talking to people on both sides of the issue. On Fulton Street, a Grand Rapids man stood outside of the Planned Parenthood showing his support for the pro-choice decision. Now, we also spoke to the Catholic Diocese of Grand Rapids today as they rejoiced the announcement this afternoon.
It's the answer to a prayer. I mean, for nearly 50 years, not just Catholics, but all religious denominations have been praying and acting and advocating for the right to life. And this has been a long, long process.
It was extremely devastating. It makes me almost want to be in tears. I have 2 little girls, and if, God forbid, if something, horrific happened to them, I wouldn't be able to help them or support them in the decision that they would want to make for their body.
So again, we're hearing a lot of emotions today on both sides of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Again, I just want to give you a picture of what we're seeing here in downtown Grand Rapids at Monument Park. Right now, activists, community members out here protesting that decision today as more and more people gather, and then they plan to march down the streets to the U.S. Federal Courthouse. We'll keep you updated as we learn more, and we'll stay down here to track what's going on. The latest for now, I'm Keely Lovern reporting live in Grand Rapids for 13 on your side.
And we're also hearing from Right to Life of Michigan and the Michigan chapter of Planned Parenthood on the decision. 13 on your side's Charlie Tinker joins us with that part of our team coverage. Charlie.
Well, as Keely and Justin just told you, 2 very different sides of the same coin. And only hours after we got word about that decision, you had both vowing to further their respective fights, either more protections for the unborn or more in the way of women's rights.
We are so excited about this decision. We've been waiting for 50 years for this.
A spokesperson for the Michigan chapter of Right to Life called for calm, even as the pro-life organization celebrated the precedent set Friday.
We think that the justices voted definitely on the right side of history. We're excited to see what happens next.
While the other side.
As an abortion provider, I know how devastating it is to sit in an exam room and tell a patient I can't help them. This scenario will now be a daily reality.
Abortion provider Dr. Sarah Wallet appeared alongside Planned Parenthood executives in a Friday press conference denouncing the High Court's decision. Wallet and others filed the lawsuit that temporarily suspended the state's 1931 abortion law.
And our doors are open. But my heart is breaking for the millions of patients living in states that will cut off abortion access today. Some of those patients will come to Michigan for that. So we're preparing to help support them and see as many patients as we can.
Planned Parenthood vowed to continue the fight to preserve access.
As much as we've been planning for this decision and we saw it coming, it still is like a punch in the gut. Thank goodness for the team members at Planned Parenthood of Michigan, who, though very sad today, remain undeterred.
And to that end, you'll remember Planned Parenthood is one of the groups behind the effort to introduce those protections with a ballot initiative. Reproductive freedom for all would cement some legal protections for abortions, prenatal care, and other pregnancy-related decisions. Like similar measures, the group would need a certain number of signatures, in this case, more than 400,000 valid signatures, before it could appear on the November ballot. And if the majority votes yes, then add it to the state constitution.